Hello and welcome to another episode of the API Chat. We're here today with Fran to talk about asynchronous APIs and something that we launched yesterday, which is our latest open source initiative around that subject. Can you tell us a little bit more about asynchronous APIs and our latest initiative, Fran?
Sure. The Async API is basically a term to define all those APIs that we expose on event-driven architectures, message-driven architectures, IoT products and services. So Async API is what we call, is the way we decided to call it. So yes, it's basically event-driven, message-driven, not event.
So it can be any, let's say, can be any API that is basically part of an event-oriented architecture.
Exactly. So not only event, as I said, is message oriented. So because you can have in those messages you can have event actions or wherever you want to have there, and yes, basically is.
And what would you say, I mean, for people that know something about APIs but might be now thinking about, so what is this new thing? Is this something new, or is this something that's been around for a while?
It has been around for a while already, lots of years actually, but it seems like developers and engineers didn't pay so much attention to that, because working with synchronous APIs, it's much easier to reason about the problems in a synchronous way. But actually has been there for years. If you look at the TCP protocol and if you look at the CPUs, how they work internally, it's also asynchronous. So it's something that has been there for a while, and on top of that, we can say that at a level of at an application level, this already existed a lot of time ago, but everybody was doing their own battle in their company's products.
Okay. So to summarize, basically on one side, let's say we have all the HTTP based and more, the most popular probably REST APIs, and for those types of APIs, there's already a machine readable definition. There's already a way to describe all those APIs.
Exactly.
So I mean, any type of HTTP API can be easily described in that way. But for most asynchronous APIs, so APIs that are based on, let's say, event or message-oriented architectures, there was no single, way of describing how these APIs behave. And what we're actually introducing here is an open source specification for this type of APIs.
And we saw that it was growing because of the rise of the Internet of Things, and the event-driven microservices. Because of that, it was growing. We saw that, and it was like, we internally use this kind of architecture. So we were missing that piece, that things you get with HTTP APIs. You can generate documentation, generate code, support, all those stuff. And it was like, we don't have anything for that. It would be nice to have it, right? And because all these APIs operate on AMQP or MQTT and that kind of protocols. And actually, there were many people asking for that on OpenAPI.
There's been on and off. There's been different people and requesting the OpenAPI specification to support this type of APIs. Exactly. But because there are big differences in how the both protocols operate, it wouldn't be so simple to have everything, let's say, in the same spec.
No, it's not easy. Definitely. So, what do you think can be the future for async APIs?
I mean, for now, what I see some of the things you said will play a big role in this near-term future. So what I see now is that anyone that wants to set up, a broker-based architecture like with RabbitMQ can just go to our website AsyncAPI.com and can just download the tools that we have there, the open source tools to generate code and all that, and they can have everything working, almost immediately without having to spend too much time on it. And I think from there, people will realize more and more that event-driven, message-oriented architectures are the way to go, and to the way to better manage microservices.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a very popular talk now from Martin Fowler on the Go to conference, talking exactly about this. This was just weeks ago, about these different types of architectures and how you can actually make microservices interact in a much better way. But I think short term, I think that's what's going to happen.
I think
Probably in the longer term, we'll see more and more adoption, and we'll probably see companies using a synchronous API with each other, not only internally with microservices, but also to communicate between different services.
That would be amazing.
So there's a lot of stuff still to do, obviously. So this is an open source initiative. The specification is open source. We're using an Apache license. All the tools are open sourced as well. So if you have any comments, if you want to add something that you see missing, don't be shy, don't hesitate. Just go to AsyncAPI.com, get in touch, do a pull request, whatever way you prefer to contact us, and we're here happy to get any feedback.
Sure.
Thanks.
Thanks.